Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Down to Earth Astronomy. I recently uploaded a video where I explained how you could make 40+ million an hour running skimmer missions. If you want to watch the video, there'll be an annotation at the end of this video, so you can watch it after you watch this one. But in the comment section in that video there was a small debate where people were arguing over the whole board hopping, session changing, whether you should do it or not. And today I want to give my 2 cents about what I think about this whole scenario and how I think frontier development could radically change the whole mission system that would, in my opinion, improve it quite a bit. But before we go any further, I just want to say that if you're a frequent follower of my channel, you will know that I really love Elite Dangerous. It's a good game, and I spend hours and hours playing this every day. So even though I might say some critical things about the game here, I still think it's a wonderful game. So, let's get going. Now, the whole problem is that people are arguing that because you are switching sessions, both doing the skipper missions, but also when mission stacking, this also goes for other types of mission, it kind of breaks some of the reality, some of the immersion in the game. And I agree, it does. But again, it's you have to argue with yourself with whether you want to get that realistic feeling, or you want to play more efficiently and get those money in as quickly as possible. Now, ideally, you want both at the same time. You want to be able to keep the realism, keep the immersion in the game, and still be efficient. And here's what I think they should do. Now, the first thing they should do is, I think they should completely remove the cap on the number of missions you could have. So now you have a limit of 20 missions. They should remove that completely, and then instead only allow you to have 1 mission per mission giver NPC. So when you're at a station, there would be, let's say, 5 people giving out missions. You could only hold 1 mission for each person at the station. That would of course drastically limit the missions, and that would of course also mean you have to rebalance the missions quite a bit. So my suggestion was, instead of you having some fixed, very static missions, so now for instance you're lucky and there spawns a mission where you should kill, let's use the skimmer example, you should kill 12 skimmers, you will get 4 million credits, and that's great, that's a fairly easy mission and it's a good amount of credit. But if instead they have like a template, a dynamic mission, so for instance, if that 1 mission giver says, I want you to go through this system and kill skimmers on this specific base, and then you can select how many you actually want to go and say, okay, I'll do that. I'll go out and I'll kill 25 skimmers, and then you will get paid per skimmer you kill, depending on the difficulty of the outpost and also the standing you have with that corporation. And this principle could be applied to many types of missions. So for instance, if we go back to the skimmer missions, I mean, the difficulty, the amount you could get paid, of course, both should be dependent on your standing, but also the difficulty. That would of course mean that the bases would have to be way more difficult than they are right now. So if you're a new player, you would probably go to a low security or not even defended area to kill skimmers. This would of course also mean that the skimmers would have to respawn. But if you want a higher payout, want to make some real money, then you would have to go to outposts that were heavily defended, and you would need to either have a fast mobile ship to avoid the incoming fire, or have a good heavily defended ship to be able to sustain the amount of damage you're going to get from the sentries. And the skimmers on the surface would of course respawn, and it would be more like it would be closer to actually combat in a belt, what's the name, extraction area, than it would be those really passive, you're just sitting around just shooting skimmers with no real challenge. And they could do the same thing with hauling missions. Now they recently nerfed long-range hauling missions, but what they could do here is pretty much the same thing. They would say, instead of you saying now move 20 units of, what do I know, slaves, bio-waste, whatever, to this station, they would simply have these dynamic missions saying, I want 2,000 or 10,000 units of bio-waste moved from here to that station over there. And then you could say, okay, fair enough, I will take 350 or how much of a cargo you have in your ship. And you will then get paid again per standing, per distance that you were flying, and of course also the amount of ton you collect. So in that way, it doesn't really matter if you can only get one mission, because that one mission would easily be able to fill up your cargo hold. So that's one way of doing those missions. And of course, if many players use the same area, it would be like the market. They would run out of the material. People will have to look for new places to get those kind of missions. And again, we can go on. This would also work with mining missions. Instead of you getting a mission saying, go out, mine this amount of a certain material, you could simply have, we want 2,000 of that one, 2,000 of this one, 5,000 of another one. And you could say, okay, that's fair. I will take a mission for, let's say, 500 if I have that much cargo. I have pretty much that amount of cargo in my current cutter that I use for mining. So you could say that, or you could implement it into the market saying, oh, we are currently looking for this material, so we will pay a bit more. And if you then sell, or if you sell the material to the market, you will then get some bonus credit if you have these missions. A bit like the community goal that you kind of sign up for. Okay, I will register as a miner for this station, and when I sell the material to the station, I will get a small bonus. And you could go on. You could use the same for combat. You would say, okay, now a corporation say we are interested in having pirates or people from that corporation killed. We will pay this much per kill, and you will then go out and shoot. I would register as a combat pilot for this corporation, and now I'll go out and I'll collect vouchers or some bounty, whatever, dog tags, whatever. And you could then bring back and say, look, I've killed this amount of people, and they will say, good job, and give you some money. So it would be kind of a mix of community goals and power play. I mean, by doing like making these dynamic missions, we wouldn't really need to mission stack. You wouldn't have to constantly switch sessions, which I really think would be a great addition to the game. Now, I hope you found this very short video interesting, and if you agree, please give the video a like, and if you disagree and thought it was a good video, give it a like anyway. Please let me know in your comment what you think of this. Is this something you would be interested in? Do you think it's a bad idea? I would really love to hear more comments on this. And again, as I promised, here are the link to the video about the skimmer missions. And there's also a subscribe button, so I really hope you will subscribe to the channel so you know when my next videos will be up. But that's it for today. Thanks a lot for watching, and until next time, I will see you guys in space.